I am joined by Denver Broncos president Damani Leech. Damani, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You know, the job of president of a football club, I don't really know how many people are aware of exactly what goes into it. So maybe I'll start there.
Yeah.
When you got the job, and I'm assuming it was Greg Penner that probably hired you, right? He's the controlling owner.
Mm-hmm.
What did he tell you he wanted you to do?
Yeah, so think about a football game visually, right? I'm responsible for everything outside the white line. So I don't call the plays. Sean does that. I don't pick the players. George Payton does that. But everything that happens outside the white lines on a game day, everything from, media that are filming the game, the cheerleaders who are getting everybody excited, what's happening on the video board, the fans who are in the seats, who's selling them the tickets, who's marketing to them to get them to go there, the building itself, the structure, the facilities management, the food and beverage that the fans enjoy, the shirts and jerseys they buy in the store, all of those things that happen outside the white lines ultimately are, for most teams, what you want a team president to manage, the business of the club.
How much does the on-the-field product affect your job? Because the Broncos had a nice season here, and I could see sort of as the development of Bo Nix kind of progresses, that may have a major impact on the bottom line of the team.
Yeah. What we say is good football is good for business. And that proved itself out this year in a number of ways. We had, record attendance, over 70,000 fans average, which is the highest we've had since our Super Bowl season in 2015. There's a survey metric we use called Voice of the Fan that all clubs do. We finished this season ranked 5th in the league in terms of their experience, driveway to driveway, as we say. So really great fan experience. Revenue hitting all of our targets, exceeding some of them. It doesn't hurt that we launched new jerseys in the year that we came back to the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. So really strong performance from a business standpoint. Work that we put in really for the last 2 or 3 years with this new leadership and our ownership group who invested in the stadium, over $100 million in renovations to the stadium, to put us in a position to be able to capitalize on that football success.
Obviously, you're not having too much trouble selling tickets, but it does strike me that there's a tension, perhaps, that you feel between maximizing revenue and the fan experience. I think Broncos tickets on average are about, $150 or so, something in that range. Family of 5, plus concessions, plus parking. It can get really expensive. How do you navigate that tension?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time on it. We try not to, as we say, spread the peanut butter with our pricing approach. And so we go down to really a section by section level of the stadium and we say, okay, one, what kind of demand is there? And that's both, do those fans enjoy their experience based on the surveys? Are they selling them? If so, how much are they selling them for? How does that compare to other NFL stadiums around the country? Similar sightline to try and make sure we're pricing fairly. We obviously are very mindful of what's happening with the other professional sports in the market, understanding those same families are spending money to do those other things. And then just overall share a wallet for all sports, all entertainment really for families. Try to be mindful of that and arrive at a point where we feel like we're pricing competitively, we're pricing fairly for fans, but also in a way that's going to be responsible to the overall business.
I don't know if it's really trickled down into the NFL yet, but I have noticed there's at least a trend in some of the other sports leagues of lowering the price on concessions to improve the experience. Is that something you've thought at all about?
Yeah. So, there are teams you've seen that have done it across the board. We've not done that yet, but we have created what we call our Mile High value menu, where there are certain things that are very clear that are going to be a very simple price, $5, $4, $2, $1 for certain things. And if that's what you want, and it's very simple things, it's hot dogs, it's chicken fingers. If you want those things, great. If you want something of higher quality, blue pan pizza, a great burger, you're going to pay more for that. But we also find that fans want some of those local Denver staples when they go to a football game. And so we try to provide all those things.
I mentioned Greg was the controlling owner. The Broncos have a little bit of a unique ownership structure, multiple owners. How are the decisions made?
So Greg is controlling owner, but I think more importantly, CEO. So Greg manages not just, I report into Greg, manages the business, but also Sean and George reporting to him, managing football. Our full ownership group is tremendous. It was a big part of the reason why I was excited about joining the club 2.5 years ago. So not just to have the Walton family and Greg, but also Condoleezza Rice, Lewis Hamilton, the greatest race car driver in history, Melody Hobson, who's just brilliant mind, has probably been on this show a number of times. Is a really exciting, thoughtful ownership group, really engaged, interested in the game, interested in the business and how we can be successful.
Before you joined the Broncos, you worked in the NFL as the COO of NFL International.
Yeah.
We just saw an announcement this week that the league is going to start playing in Australia. Are you still looking at the league strategy there? And I'm just curious to hear your thoughts on it.
I do it fondly. There's a fair amount of FOMO. So I will text Peter O'Reilly every fall when there's a game abroad. And I wish I was there. It's funny. I was just down the walkway there. The ESPN Australia guys. I said hello to them. I haven't seen them in 5 years. Yeah. The first trip we took out to Australia, when we were actually trying to identify a guy like Jordan Mailata, we were on the Gold Coast of Australia, and we're like, wow. It's one of those moments of like, look at us. 5 years later, and now there's going to be a game in Melbourne. Yeah. It's great to see. I love it.
Another topic that has been going around this week, certainly here, is this idea of DEI hires and the Rooney Rule, and is it right? I mean, you are a minority president. There can't be that many of them in the NFL.
Correct.
Is the league handling this correctly? Yeah. I feel like DEI is thrown around with a pejorative meaning these days. Yeah. But should there be tweaks to what the league is doing?
Yeah. I think there are 4 of us, 4 African-American presidents in the NFL, which is great. I think we've all been hired in the last 3 to 4 years. So I think the progress that the league has made there is pretty tremendous. I think you heard the commissioner say earlier this week, and I agree with him. Like, for me, I view diversity as a weapon. I think you're trying to get the best talent in the room, whether that's on the field or off the field. And folks who don't do that, I think they'll do it at their expense. I think for us, we try to get the best talent we can, regardless of where you're from. I think that our differences make us better. And so I think that's both at a club level and at a league level.
We have this helmet in front of us here.
Yeah.
All in. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, so all in all covered. This is as part of the Denver Broncos Foundation, our new statewide helmet distribution program. So helmets, both financially and in terms of performance, can be one of the largest barriers to entry to the sport. The Broncos Foundation, led by our ownership group, challenged us as a staff to say, what can we do to have a greater impact on youth in Colorado? And so what we just launched is this program that will distribute helmets to every single high school in the state of Colorado. That's 277 high schools. Over a 4-year period, we'll distribute over 15,000 helmets. These are Riddell Axiom helmets, top of the line in terms of safety and technology, that'll be free to every school in the state of Colorado. Tremendous initiative, a lot of excitement locally from high schools, from parents, from players. I look back when we did this at my old helmet from high school, still in my basement at home, to see the difference in technology and how helmet technology is involved. Riddell's a great partner, and we're really excited about it.
Do you have a prediction for Sunday?
Wow. I don't have a prediction. I still have a little bit of my league hat. You just want a good game, lots of scoring, lead changes, those sorts of things.
Let me ask you this differently then. One of the teams playing is in your division.
Oh boy.
So do you have rooting interest there, or is it goes the other way?
Neither. I just want to be here as a team. That's all I care about, and I think one day we will be.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you.